My name is Stefan Jankovic, and this is my story. I played for the University of Hawaii men's basketball, and I played power forward. That's where I was born, actually, my hometown. That's Belgrade, Serbia, so a little international flair. It all began basically when I was 5. We moved to Canada from Serbia, so me and my parents. And honestly, soccer was my first sport, so I didn't pick up basketball maybe till 9, 10, and that actually started with my mom putting me in a Raptors, like a youth basketball camp, and I went there for a month, in and out, like 2 days a week, and honestly, I just picked it up, and I wasn't, one of the taller, I was one of the taller kids, but I wasn't, overly tall, and so I played a bunch of sports growing up, and eventually, basketball was my better sport, and I really enjoyed it, so I just kind of stuck with it. Here in Canada, I grew up, and I played the majority of my young, basketball years where I learned the most, and so we have here obviously OBA, and I played originally for Mississauga Monarchs. That was kind of the team out here, and I started with Coach Justin Jones. He coached me for a good 3-4 years, and that's like, you always remember your first coach. And there's actually a Serbian coach that actually coached me as well at the same time, who lived here too, so I got kind of an international basketball, like a different sense. His name was Jovan Pajovic, so he was they were both like big basketball coaches in Mississauga at the time. I left Canada when I was 15. I just finished grade 10 here, so I played for Xavier for 2 years, and it was a great experience, but exposure-wise at the time for me, it was better for me to move on to prep school, and so I went to Huntington Prep in West Virginia, which is a big basketball powerhouse, and it's produced many players and Canadians as well. So being there it raised the level of competition for me. Obviously being home was great, but I wanted to take it more seriously, and that was a step for me. So from there on, I got scholarships to all D1 schools, and to play in the NCAA and play college basketball, and I pursued that. Initially I went to the University of Missouri. I didn't work out, and I transferred over to University of Hawaii, which was the greatest decision for me. My mom played sports. She played volleyball in high school, so she understood. She had a level of, athleticism and stuff like that. My dad actually played professional handball back in Europe, and he was really one of the better players coming out of Yugoslavia at the time. So, and my grandpa actually was a professional soccer player. So there was like a line of athletes, and everyone in my family, there's kind of like a sport lifestyle. Everyone either watched or played, or recreationally, professionally. So to have my parents and my family in general just always pushing me, and me and my brother, always sports, no matter what. I played baseball when I first got here. Did karate for 7-8 years. My parents, put us in, you name it. The sport, they had no problem. My mom would just look up, all these different camps and send us. If we liked it, we liked it. If we didn't, we would play the next thing. And so far, I guess the greatest memory, I would have to say more because it's recent. This whole year at Hawaii, it was the most historic year we ever had in the history of the program. And how much, I became close with the Hawaiian people and the islands, and just that total vibe there. So I guess it was special for me and the team as well, because we were able to bring back that excitement. We sold out the arena over there, and people on the island were watching us, and it was just like a good atmosphere. A memory would be like, I guess, the whole year, because it was just great. We went, I believe, we lost 5 games. We won 27-28, so it was a lot of winning, which helps, but it was just a good atmosphere and good vibe. When I left for prep school, my coaches, they actually set up like an alumni game where guys came back, and we played during like school time. We played at like, 1 or 2 p.m. and they had like a buyout, so all the whole school came out. And I was still in high school, but I wasn't going there anymore to St. Francis Xavier. And we played like against the current players there, and it was kind of the guys that left, and the bleachers were packed. So that would be, I guess, a memory from going to high school here, and more, I guess, from 5-6 years back would be that. So those 2 memories kind of stick out. It was just that atmosphere. I can remember, how cool it was, coming back here and playing in front of, I guess, my old school. 5 to 10 years. Ultimate goal is NBA. Honestly, you know, that I feel like if you play any sport, anything in life, you want to reach for the highest. So the NBA for me is the ultimate goal. But I want to have a successful professional career, and I want to play as long as I can. You know, as long as my body lets me. I mean, I'm still young now, but you know, obviously a sports career, you know, doesn't last your whole life. So 5 to 10 years, I want to have a successful basketball career. I want to be, you know, specifically, I guess I want to be in the NBA. You know, a successful NBA player. I remember my grade 9 year, I would wake up at 6 a.m. and you know, during our winters, it's cold. I mean, you go outside, first 5 seconds, you know, you're frozen. So I remember waking up at 6 a.m. It kind of started that routine, and my parents always got me up early and made sure, like, you know, they always told me successful people, you know, wake up earlier and they have, you know, more and more time in the day. So I started here, that routine, and it kind of followed me throughout high school and college, and now, you know, going ahead professionally. A typical day for an athlete, and especially one that, you know, wants to be successful, is all day basketball, weights, strength conditioning. You know, when I was at Hawaii, you know, obviously I had class too, so you wake up at 6 or 7, you go, you lift, you go to class, you go to practice, you come back at 7 or 8, you eat, and you repeat. You know, there's not, you get home at 7 or 8, you're exhausted. You know, there's not much more to it. So it's definitely, it's not for everyone. You know, people are always talking about, oh, professional athletes have this and that, but you don't see behind the scenes. You know, it really is, it's tough. So I guess I mean, if I was 8, you know, looking back, what someone, you know, could have told me that would have made this, I guess, experience better for me personally, I would say that would be to enjoy it more, and not to and to remember it's a game. Obviously, once you get older, that's where you get more serious. It's easy for, you know, an 8-year-old to just enjoy it, but to keep that same joy when you were 8, when you're 20, 22, 30, playing professionally, playing in, you know, a men's league, because once the higher level, you know, the more pressure. So I would tell an 8-year-old the same, you know, happiness and joy he has playing right now, to maintain that. And I mean, honestly, the sky's the limit, because if you're enjoying it, you're gonna work hard, you're gonna have fun, and you'll be successful. This was probably the first 2 years of me playing basketball, 3 years. This was in 8th grade, BJC Magic. So we went 40-0 that year in Canada. We won OBAs, you know, it was like, I think, first time ever that someone went undefeated. And that was, I mean, that was great. We went on to win like the Ontario Championships, and then we went on to nationals. And you know, to be an 8th grader and go 40-0 was like a good, you know, introduction to basketball. And then right next to that, I have my days at Huntington Prep, so that was my senior season. And on that team, I have Tanvir Bhullar, fellow Canadian, Xavier Athens-Mays, Negus Webster-Chan, Andrew Wiggins, and I don't want to forget anyone, Novell Provo. So on that team, you had 5 Canadians. 2 pictures of Jordan, because I mean, he's the greatest player, you know, to play the game, and you know, it's motivation. I just have a bunch of different medals here, you know, stuff from basketball, from Team Canada to AAU to OBA. So I mean, there's a bunch of, you know, medals and stuff. This is actually my first year of playing basketball ever, and I believe Mississauga Monarchs. So I carry this. I brought this from back from school. I carry it with me. This was my high school jersey here, and it's probably one of the nicest, honestly. So this is from Xavier. This was from my grade 10 year. This is a practice jersey from playing at Hawaii. This is like an All-American camp I went to in the States. This was like an all-star game for Canada. This is my prep school, Huntington Prep. Those were, you know, like great days for me. I mean, we were like a top prep school, so it's kind of all memories. And then I'm gonna hang this one up too, just for, you know, growing up a Raptors fan, you know, being able to work out for them.